Hello everyone, Malphaight here, and today I decided we are going to be doing some off-season predictions, and I already prepared something. So let's start with the current LEC teams. We see them all here, and I already put in red the the players that are going to be leaving at least the team they are on. So I already removed them in the second table, and I prepared some of the color coding here. So first of all, let's look at the champions. Why do I keep saying champions? Let's look at the players that are confirmed to stay on a roster, and that is Handsome D, it's the LEC, and it's Skins. So I think this is the color that I picked, light green. Anyone else confirmed? Nako, Linsas, like I think that's pretty much it, I think. Now, I should probably add like most likely confirmed category. Confirmed. Because I feel like, although not officially confirmed, I feel like these players, let's do light green too, and I think that's BB, Skewmond caps. I think it's Upset for Fnatic. I think it's Elyoya for Koi. Also Supa, Alvaro, bot lane. I don't know. We don't know about KC much yet. For Vitality, I feel like Carzzy is their star player that's not gonna go to a different team. For Theoretics, I feel like Sheo is the one who's confirmed. For GX, I'm not sure about anything, really. And for BDS, I feel like Nuke is their star player that's definitely going to be kept. So let's go with that. Also, so these are the most likely confirmed players. Right, very nice, very nice. Kinda, I mean, the colors look the same, doesn't matter. Also, I feel like Abedage is not gonna stay on SK, so I should probably also add this color, whatever color it was, and kinda remove him. Now, I don't know what SK is doing with Skins. I don't know why they have confirmed Skins. I feel like Skins is the worst jungler available. Now, let's look at who I would kick from the team. So I would definitely kick Oscar. I would definitely kick Targamas. I mean, I still think he's LEC level, but I don't think he's good on KC. Maybe they like to play together with Caliste. They played a long time together with Caliste. I mean, maybe the KC likes him, but yeah, not sure. Also, Linz has not doing well on Vitality. Maybe he's good, but I'm not sure. Okay, so I would probably kick him from the team. Same with Rooster from BDS. Same with Parus from BDS. Probably. I'll just do that. So these are the players I would kick from the team, but not necessarily kick from the league. And then there are players that I would kick from the league. Probably like a lot. Probably like Dundun. To be fair, wasn't very impressive. So I mean, let's just kind of remove them. I don't know. Whether it's Rooster, whether it's Dundun, I think regardless, it's a free space in the top lane. So the way we kind of look at it, we have 7 players staying, and we have like 3 spaces in top lane. Maybe 4 spaces if Rooster leaves, and maybe 5 if Oscarinin leaves. So I feel like there's like at least 1 space free, and that is in Theoretics, guaranteed. SK can still keep Dundun, BDS can still keep Rooster, or they can do some swapperoo, switcheroo, GX can still keep Lot. So there are about 1 to 5 spaces in top lane. When it comes to jungle, Sheo, Isma, Bukara, Skins, LEC. We know Skins and LEC are confirmed. These guys, Skewmond, Razork, Elyoya, Yike, very good jungler. Sheo also, I would keep him. So it's like Linsas, Isma, and Bukara. So again, 1 to 3 spaces open in the jungle position. With mid lane, we know that KC is most likely. Actually, I should probably add these guys to the maybe category. There we go. So Canna is in talks with KC, and they're most likely getting a Korean mid lane. So I feel like Nuke is gonna stay in BDS. I feel like Jackie's again gonna end up in some sort of a team. Not sure about Fnatic mid lane. Not sure about Chayek, but I feel like in mid there's like 3 spaces open for sure. And then maybe, I mean, the craziest situation would be like 3 to 5, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's gonna be like 3 to 4. And in bot lane we have Hansama upsets Supa, Caliste, Carzzy, Noah, Ice. Yeah, I feel like in bot lane, I feel like I would only kick Kadui completely. So I can already kind of remove him. And then the people, I think Ice is really good. I feel like Flaked is only the next person. So actually, I feel like maybe like 1 to 2 bot laners are going to change. So this is very tough to get into LEC as an AD carry because the AD carry pool is really good. And then support, I would mix it up with Targamas and Parus. Fleshy, I think solid. So there's like 2 spaces realistically open for support. There might be more actually. I mean, sometimes the support changes if there's another good support available. So let's put it like 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and top lane, let's assume we're gonna have more spots changing up. So let's say there's gonna be 3 changes, 3 to 5. So quite a lot that can happen in the top lane. Let's say 2. So the most volatile category in the top lane. Okay. So let's uncover, I already wrote some players down here, and let's look at our potential top lane replacements. So I believe there's Wunder. I think Wunder is kind of being slept on. People think he's washed, but people don't really realize Wunder came in to the league to sub for Oscarinin, who broke his hand, and he won the series for Fnatic out of nowhere. Just got a little bit of practice with the team, just picked some good champions, picked Renekton, picked, I don't know, Gnar or Ornn, or I don't know what he picked, Gragas, right? And just won the game. And I still think he's capable of that. He was kind of just chilling, stealing the paychecks on Team Heretics. But Fnatic wanted him, and I think he would take the deal if he was part of a 5-man roster. But they wanted the roster to be like a 6-man roster and for him to coach Oscar and so on. And I feel like Wunder thinks he's better. And I agree with that. I would much rather have Wunder on my team than Oscar on my team, because I feel like Wunder is your perfect top laner in a sense that you can leave him on the island and he will perfectly weak side the game. And I'm sure with some thorough training or whatever, he could also really pick up some crazy carries and so on. So Wunder definitely, if he doesn't make the team, that would be crazy for me. But I know that LEC has some sort of an issue with picking up these older veterans, possibly more overvalued players in some people's eyes. But I definitely think Wunder is the way to go. Then we have Mainter, obviously. I mean, we saw the Los Ratones versus KCB. KCB once again showing that their academy team is really strong. I mean, once you have that sort of a reputation of having a really strong academy team, then also really strong players will gather, right? So Mainter, again, definitely deserves an LEC spot. I would pick Mainter over Lot. I would pick him over Carlsen, who used to be in the Team Heretics. I would probably pick him over Dundon or Rooster, not because he would be stronger per se, but because I feel like he's a developing talent and it's worth to bet on him. So we have Mainter, similar situation with Tracyn, a very young Polish talent from the Los Heretics that are going to meet KCB in the final of the EMEA Masters. And then finally we have Ragnar. Ragnar already quite an older player. I mean, it's funny to say he's older, but it's like 24. But he's been playing in the in the ERLs for pretty much the whole time, for years now, and he's been dominating no matter which team. I think now he's playing for the Galleons or BK I'm not, no, I think BK is Shigenda, so I think Ragnar is in the Galleons. And again, really strong top lane performance. If some team wants a possibly cheap and really good top laner, I feel like Ragnar is the way to go. Definitely deserves a shot in the LEC. But I kind of ordered them in the way that I feel like in the order of priority. Again, I'm not putting any Koreans here because I feel like there's many Koreans in the LCK Academy that you can just find and you can pick them up. There are some good Korean players in the EMEA Masters in top lane, for example, Michiel from the Misa Esports, but again, I would not really pick them, and then you don't even have the import slot remaining. So this is my top 4 for the top lane. Next up, we have a jungle, and this is going to be interesting. So we have Yukino. So Yukino showed a really good performance against Lost Ratones. I also think KCB is going to win the EMEA Masters, but we're going to see. Next up, also very, very young. I think he's like 19, right? So a good jungler to pick if you want to build on him. But again, he's from the NA, and having an NA native jungler in your team could be really, really good for you. So I feel like teams like TL, teams like maybe the Sentinels that are coming into the league, right, should be interested in Yukino. So he's definitely going to have a lot of interest from the LEC, but also the NA orgs, because he counts as an import in the LEC. But again, whoever picks him up, really good for them, because definitely Yukino type of a player that can develop into your next Yike, into your next Skewmond, Razork, Elyoya, and so on. Next up, I have Jankos. Again, my theory kind of continues here. Although probably not as mechanically skilled as used to be, still very, very good, has a massive game knowledge, probably more game knowledge than, half of the players in the LEC, and can be that leader and can be that veteran on your team when you have some very young players. So for example, Team Vitality, I think would do much better with Jankos in the jungle than with Linsas in the jungle, right? I mean, currently Carzzy is the only veteran on the team, and I feel like addition of Jankos would do very well. Similarly, Fnatic, I mean, if you want to have upset Mickey, you could bring Wunder Jankos, and you could bring someone like, I don't know, Vladi into the mid lane, and now you have a really insane kind of like the G2 reunion that people tried for, but now you actually have some really good players still, because I feel like we saw the G2 sort of reunion many times, but usually it wasn't that hype. So I would much rather have Vladi than Perks in the mid lane. I would much rather have Wunder than Oscarinin in the top lane. And I think Razork for Jankos, it's kind of like, maybe doesn't seem like the best change, but it's definitely not a downgrade. It's probably like a side grade. You trade some mechanics for some knowledge. Then next up you have Douglas. I've already preached this for like 2 years, that Douglas should definitely be in the league. Team Vitality promoted him for like a split or two, maybe it was just one split. He was performing very, very well, and then they replaced him. I think it was actually with Linsas, and since then Linsas kinda is underperforming, and I feel like Douglas does much, much better. Now going into the final with Los Heretics, and I think he's a big part of why the team is doing really well. So definitely Douglas deserves a spot in the LEC, and there's like, I would definitely take him over Skeens. Similar strength like Relech, right? I would probably take him over Linsas if I was Vitality. So definitely tough to get into the league as a jungler, especially now, right? Because you don't have many spaces open now that I look at it. Only Linsas, Isma, Bukara is a question mark, right? But Douglas definitely deserves it. Then we have Natinat. I mean, Natinat obviously, strong player. I think we recently see him a lot on YouTube, making great content. He was bootcamping in Korea, kind of clowning on the LCK players. He has great mechanics. He was originally the player that Los Ratones wanted to pick up. In the end, they decided for Velia. Now, Obviously, we don't know how Natinat would do on team like Los Ratones. There's an argument to be made that he could be even better than Velia. Again, Velia is pretty solid. And then we have Closer because he's just very solid. He left LEC, but he was performing very well. He wasn't playing badly. He left for sort of a mental break and so on. But I feel like Closer, still a solid pickup. I would much rather have Closer than Isma, Bukada, Skeens, even Linsas, right? So still a reasonable player, although you can say the same thing, like he's washed and so on. Now in mid lane, we have an interesting situation because, again, probably like 3 to 4 spots are going to be open, but we have a lot of strong contenders. So let's see, we have Vladi, definitely player we need in the LEC, probably is going to have some interest from the LCS teams as well. But I feel like Vladi in Fnatic would go crazy. Vladi in Team Vitality would go crazy. Even in a team like Team Heretics, possibly. But I feel like definitely Fnatic Vitality should battle for Vladi, try to get him. I think him leaving KC is definitely a big L for KC, but we're going to see who they're going to pick up, some sort of a Korean mid laner. Next up, we have Humanoid. Now, people think Humanoid is really bad, but I feel like he's still really good. The question is whether he will want to continue playing. His paycheck is definitely going to get much lower. We know he was making millions in Fnatic, so probably no team willing to pay millions for him. Definitely not Fnatic picking him up back again, right, after kicking him, especially when they had to pay more for another player to join their team. But, you know, again, we could probably see something like a reunion of Humanoid and Carzzy, the Czech duo on Team Vitality. I think that would actually be an upgrade for Vitality with a top lane like Nako, and either Flashy or some other support, maybe get a different jungler. Like, if you get Jankos Humanoid on Team Vitality with Carzzy and Nako, I think the team automatically becomes really insane. If you get like Yukino, again, very insane. You could probably get Razork Humanoid on Team Vitality if Fnatic changes their jungler. I don't know if the two of them want to play together, but again, could be a reunion and could be I think Humanoid and Carzzy on one team would be really strong because I know they like each other and I know they want to play with each other. So I feel like the team would definitely have the vibes that the team needs. Next up, we have Serin. So Serin is a mid laner from the ERLs, very strong player. He's getting replaced by Omon in the team, but possibly he's gonna find a place. I think he's from the Lost Heretics. Maybe from the Galleons. I'm not sure if I am. I'm probably. I don't remember quite well right now. But again, Serin, very good ERL player. VTO, obviously player from the LEC, could find his way back in. But I'm gonna probably put Omon above him. Then we have Call Me, another strong mid laner from the I think Misa Esports. And then we have Slow Q, mid laner from the KCB. All of these mid laners, I feel like from Serin until here, are solid pickups. Some like VTO might have some behavior issues from the past. We don't know if that changed or no. Might be a bit of a risk for a team to pick them up. But then we obviously have some Korean players like Call Me or Slow Q, and then Serin or Omon players that are probably worth to give them a shot. But I'm looking at Vladi Humanoid as the two pickups that we must see in the league. And then I'm kind of looking at the rest as it might be interesting to see, right? But I think the mid lane pool in the LEC will be really good. But we just need to make sure that Vladi and Humanoid are in the team. Next up, bot lane. We can kind of speed run this one because bot lane, again, we saw not many spaces. But there's Exakick from the KCB, obviously was in the LEC previously, kind of proved on the team right now that he can return to the team and do very well. So we might see Exakick maybe on SK returning. That was a team that he was playing on originally when he came to the LEC. Maybe we might see him in Team Heretics, picked up instead of Flakked, right? But other than that, I mean, really good AD carries in other teams. I'm not sure, you know. It's tough to get an AD carry in the league. And then again, you have Harpoon, another possibility. A Polish bot laner from, I think, Team Galleons. Showed a very good promise, very young and talented player. And then you have Berserker and Smash, two Korean players, very big superstars, but I think Smash is definitely going to be picked up by some LCK team. I feel like it's quite possible if, for example, T1 doesn't make quarterfinals because they get knocked out by some team like BLG or something, or if perhaps they make quarterfinals but get kicked out right away in the quarters, right? I feel like some changes will need to happen in that roster, and I feel like Smash coming in instead of Gumayushi, for example, might be the change, because we already saw that happen on the roster. So Berserker is more likely not as hyped as Smash, but still a good Korean AD carry. And he was on the worst team in the LCK right now. So I'm not sure how LCK feels about Berserker right now. So I think Berserker and AD carry that both the LEC and NA will be interested in my opinion. Because he already was playing in English-speaking teams before, has some good English, kind of knows the environment. So I think LEC, LCS, gonna pick up Berserker next season. So we just have to see which team and which server, which country or state, or what it's called. What is it called? Continent, right? Yeah. And finally, support 2-3 spaces. I think Trymbi, I'm looking at Trymbi. This is the player we need on our team. Again, same applies for NA. I feel like Trymbi is worth to get even as an import. We saw what he did. He came into the league. They won the league. They beat the 100 Thieves. They showed a really good run on Worlds. I think that's going to change with them going up against BLG, obviously, but they showed a really good run. So Trymbi definitely needs to go into the league. I would go as far as to say, like, you replace Trymbi with Targamas and the team is immediately better. Or you could maybe go like upset Trymbi again, probably very strong. Hansama Trymbi, if G2 were to do some replacement of Labrov, for example, I think that's gonna be really good. Something of the sort, right? Or Carzzy Trymbi, actually. Carzzy Trymbi can be very good, because I know Trymbi is very vocal as a support, and I know that usually in the bot lane there's like a vocal player and kind of like the not vocal player. So you have the player who kind of gives orders and the player who follows. And so a good example of vocal players is Hansama. A good example of a vocal player is Caliste. A good example of a vocal player is Upset, right? So these would be like very vocal players. And then you look at their supports and they're the quiet guys. So Targamas, MikyX, Labrov, right? And then you have Carzzy, who's like the not vocal AD carry. So he might not best mesh up with Targamas, Miky, or Labrov, but he might mesh up very well with more vocal supports like Hylissang or like Trymbi, right? So it's always something like this that you need to think about when you're building the roster, about who is the more vocal player. But we also know that Hansama could play with Trymbi, because it's not impossible when you have two vocal players. They can just make it work, right? Like one can shot call less, or just become the less vocal player. So I think that's something Trymbi can also do. So I think he's kind of a hybrid player in this sense. So definitely you should pick up Trymbi. And then you have Piero, who is an import, but looked pretty good on KCB. And then you have Zoelis, Kaiser, Limit. I think all of these players have been in LEC, and I think they deserve a chance again. They would be kind of like the veterans, or more like Kaiser, Limit would be the veterans. Zoelis kind of only got to experience LEC for one split. But all of these players look pretty good, in my opinion. So, now the real question is, how would we change these teams? Who would we put where? And for that, I need to think. So actually, let me see. So G2 could pick up Caliste, but I don't think Caliste Labrov is good. So let me kind of see here. I'm just gonna write G2, and we know this is happening. So one possible iteration is you change Trymbi for Labrov. I don't think Labrov, I mean, Labrov is not bad. It's just my issue with Labrov and, for example, support like Targamas is that they're really good, but they're not really playing very risky. I like supports that play risky, and that's supports like MikyX, Alvaro, Trymbi, right? So you could go with Trymbi, you could go with MikyX, you could welcome MikyX back into the team. I don't know if G2 is gonna do that. Maybe they think he's not good, maybe they think he's washed, but I think that would actually work pretty well. So this is one iteration where you change Labrov for a different support. Another iteration where you change Hansama, but if you change Hansama, then you have to go with Caliste, because I don't think G2 values upset very highly. Although that's a possibility as well, right? You steal the bot lane from Fnatic, because upset was pretty good. You could just get a whole deal. So I mean, for fun, I'll just write it here, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's quite unlikely. So this is another iteration possible. I think if Caliste wants to win, you would steal Caliste, and then you get, again, MikyX, or you get, you're definitely not picking up Targamas, like that's not happening. And then you can get, for example, Trymbi. That's kind of how I see it. I don't think... I'm a really big fan of MikyX, you might have noticed. He's in all three iterations. I also am a fan of Trymbi. So this is something that I think G2 can do. G2 iterations. Which one is the most likely? I feel like there has to be a change, and I feel like definitely the change has to be in support at least. But returning to Hansama Miky, I think Miky wants to play with upset. I think it's either Hans Trymbi or it's Caliste Miky, actually. Because I feel like returning back might be like, you know, something like this. Fnatic is much more interesting. What I would like to see Fnatic do. What I would like to see Fnatic do is I would like to see them go for Wunder. I don't think there's anything else they can pick up. They can actually pick up Nako. I think Nako is really good. Because maybe they will not want to pick up Wunder, but I think Wunder is really good. I don't know what Grabs thinks at this point, but if Grabs gets to build a roster, I think that would be really good for them. And also Wunder doesn't have the contract with the Heretics anymore, so now he's cheaper, right? He's a free agent and cheaper. I would like to see Jankos here. Or I would like to see Yike. We'll see what KC does. Maybe KC wants to replace Yike with Yukino. But if not Jankos, not Yike, then again Yukino is a good option. And then in the mid lane, I would like to see Vladi. I think Razork on Fnatic, I think he's good. Don't get me wrong. I think he's really good, but I think he needs a change. Because sometimes things get kind of stale and you need like a change. And then again, in the bot lane, I think upset Miky make the most sense. So I think you need this because you're not getting Humanoid. So you need to secure this. And then you can do something like that. So maybe, yeah, so something like this for Fnatic. Koi, I think Koi can actually run it back. Because I don't know if they managed to get Jojo. But I think they can actually run it back. Because they're not necessarily bad and they can still get stronger, right? They can like get the synergy better. And also they're not necessarily performing badly. Like I think If they make it out of the quarters, which is quite unlikely, but if that happens, they're keeping it together. If that changes, then maybe they are changing like top lane or something. Although I think Myrwn is good in a sense that he plays a lot of champions. I think Supa Alvaro is really good. I don't think you can get a better top lane, a better bot lane. And I think this whole Spanish concept really works for the community. So I don't think the community really wants to make a change. So I think we can kind of say that this is happening. I think this is happening. Let's say Canna is happening because, well, dark green is crazy. Let's say Canna is happening. Let's say some sort of a Korean top lane is happening. I think you're not getting a different mid laner, and I don't know if they want Humanoid. But a Humanoid in case he would go pretty crazy. Let's say Yike is staying. I think you would rather have Yike than Yukino. So let's say Yike is not going to Fnatic. Yeah, we don't know about Caliste. But let's say Targamas is gone. I think again MikyX would be good here. Trymbi would be good here. That's kind of my understanding of what I would change, right, in KC. Yeah, if you cannot get Caliste, I think you just you get Hansama. Like, if it would be some sort of a swap with G2. So G2 is Hansama Caliste here, I think pretty much for sure, and then the support again. I wouldn't go with Labrov, so I would again go with MikyX Trymbi. So I think the bot lane is going to be shared between KC and G2 somewhat, somehow. Whoa, that's dark again. Okay, so we kind of have it happening. In Fnatic, I'm saying this. Wunder, Naak, Nako, Jankos, Yukino, upset, MikyX. I don't think Douglas or Natty Nat is something Fnatic would do. I think it's a bit too crazy. And I think the bot lane was the best part of Fnatic. And I think Vladi is actually really good. You have to pick Vladi up. So I would probably... Yeah, actually, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this. Because I don't want to lock MikyX just because I think he's so good and other teams should want him. But it's very likely that Upset will continue playing. But so far, I'll do this, okay? So far, I will do this. And in Vitality, what should Vitality do? I think Vitality should pick Humanoid. I think Vitality, like, we're kind of doing like a process of elimination, but I think Vitality should pick up Humanoid. I'm not sure about the rest. I think Nako again interchangeable with Wunder. Yep, that sounds good. That sounds very good actually. So I think Fnatic and Vitality should go for Wunder and Nako. I'm not sure about the support situation, like, at all. But okay. Let's continue cooking here, guys. Adam is still pretty good, but where can he go? Like SK, man, SK just with the skins, I'm not sure about this team. At all. I think Sheo, Stend kind of proved to be pretty solid. Although, wait. Labrov has to go somewhere. I think Labrov might go to Fnatic. Or Carzzy Labrov. Ooh, I like that even more. I like this more. Carzzy, Labrov, Humanoid. I think that would go crazy, actually. I think Labrov and Carzzy was a good bot lane. Carzzy, Labrov. So we have Fleshy open. I'll just write him here. I don't know. Because the support situation is very tricky. BDS. What does BDS want? Like, what kind of... Like, we have pretty much figured the top 5 teams. I feel like this will be the top 5 teams. I feel like GX is so good in this regard. Like, does Heretics want Jackies? Do Heretics want Jackies? Or do they want like Serin, Omon? Let me think here. I think Sheo would be a really good jungle. I think Nuke is staying on BDS. So BDS is also cooking something. BDS could steal Noah Jun, because there's not much of other option here. BDS could also get Exakick. I feel like that's very likely, actually. I think BDS are gonna get Exakick. And they are gonna get Targamas. Oh my goodness. I already see it. I already see it, guys. I already see it. They're gonna get Targamas from Koi. The second French team. The second French team. Because they're gonna build it around Nuke. Oh, brother. Also, there's Nisqy, now that I think about it. There's a Nisqy. Oh my goodness. There's Nisqy, but I don't think even Nisqy would want to join a team like SK. But Nisqy Sheo might not be bad. Nisqy. I think Jackie's Noah Jun is really good though. I think that's a really good core. I think Jackie's Noah Jun. I'm not sure about Isma. But also, I don't know who else you would go for. Adam? Actually, Adam on BDS? Wait. The French roster? Oh my god. And this is gonna be Bukara Isma situation. Right? They're French. Jankos Douglas. Yeah, I think Bukara, I think is gonna be here. I mean, obviously this is not gonna be correct, right? Because we're working like with limited amount of information. Ooh, they could go and try to get Sheo as well. Because Sheo is good. Oh, wow. Nisqy is an interesting addition. I'll also put Serin. I'll also put Omon. Also, VTO is interesting. Man, these like kind of French iterations. SK is just gonna be... I feel like SK is gonna end up with not an interesting roster because they have skins locked in, and I don't know if people want to play with skins. So I feel like they're actually gonna get like Harpoon here, or they're gonna keep Kedui, but maybe they'll want to make a change. Oh wait, Ice. Oh my goodness. Okay, Flacket is gonna get replaced here. I'm not sure if Flacket will want to stay on SK though. But I think Flacket is better. And you need some sort of a veteran in your team. But it's gonna be tough to have Flacket skins on your team. Oof. That is gonna be tough. Actually tough. Maybe this is... I mean, this is like a crazy idea, right? Skins VTO Flacket. I don't know, actually. I don't know about this. I don't know. This is tough. And we have Adam. So I already put Adam into BDS. I think Navi is a Ukrainian organization, So I think they might go for Mainter. Unless the Heretics will want him. But the Heretics kind of can get him easier because he can just come from the Academy team. So Tracyn, Sheo, Ice. Someone should get Parus, right? Someone should get Parus. Maybe Team Vitality is gonna get him if they're not getting Labrov. But I feel like GX? No, GX, no. BDS? No. SK? SK might be getting him. Or Navi might be getting him. I'm cooking here. I'm actually cooking here. I'm actually cooking here. And then an interesting thing is going to be that you're going to have two teams, additional teams. You're going to have Los Ratones. And most likely you're going to have KCB. So you're going to have like slow... Wait, no, we already know what the KCB team is. It's going to be like Kamilu. Okay, so that's not very interesting. But you're going to have Los Ratones. Whatever. No need to worry about that right now, right? Linsas. I think Vitality is gonna also get Jankos or Yukino. I feel like that's kind of the vibe I'm feeling. So again, what G2 and KC are sharing in their bot side, I think Fnatic and Vitality will be sharing in their top side. Something like that. So this is figured out. This is figured out. And then this is tough. This is tough. So wait, let's kind of log this, right? Let's kind of log this because... Let's kind of log this. Color... So I think Labrov is gonna be here. I don't think... Maybe Fnatic. Maybe Fnatic. Maybe Fnatic for Labrov. And then Parus and what? Pretty much the rest, right? Like fleshy, whatever, Zoilis, Kaiser, Limit. I think Fleshy was pretty solid in Team Vitality. So I'll just say like ... right? And that basically means everyone else. So we have that locked in. Navi mid laner. Is Nisqy want to go into this with Mainter LEC? They need a veteran. They need a veteran. So Nisqy actually makes sense here because they need a veteran player. Also, Navi could get Jankos, but I'm not sure if Jankos will want to play on such a team. I think he'd rather stay as a content creator for Navi. So Nisqy... Again, I'm gonna say like Serin, Omon, right? Basically something like that. Nisqy, Serin, Omon, yeah. Pretty much. I think Ice makes a total sense here. I think Isma Bukara, right? That's the same swap we have here. Same swap with Labrov, Parus. I'm not sure if Miky would go play with... I don't think Miky and Carzzy want to play together. But I know Humanoid and Carzzy want to play together. So what's left? The top lane in SK and top lane in GX. We have Mainter and Tracyn and Wunder already used up. So there's Ragnar. think GX could go for Ragnar. This is a tough situation with the top lane. Actually, Oscarinin. Oh, I forgot. Oh, wait. This changes everything. There's Oscarinin. I think Oscarinin makes sense here. I think that makes sense. Also, you're forgetting about Razork. Wow. Wow. You're forgetting about Razork. So GX could go with Razork. Hey, I think this team is actually like pretty good. I think Oscar Razork could be a bundle. Could be. I don't think you need Razork or Oscar in Vitality. You have like a lot of veterans, and I think if you have a lot of veterans, it's kind of clashing. You kind of need to balance it out. Now on BDS, you could also have Oscar Razork with Nuke. But I think BDS would, like this kind of like a French-ish team would make more sense. So I'm actually going to lock in Oscar Razork here, although I completely forgot about them while making this. Yeah. I think this is pretty much... Wait, no, SK. Oh my god, SK. Let's just say Ragnar. They will invite him. He will accept. And they will show what's up. Ragnar Skeens, VTO, Flacket. Interesting team. Interesting team. I don't know what to think. But I think this is pretty much an absolute cinema of a prediction. So yeah, some players are not decided, but I think that's kind of how it goes in the off seasons. But obviously, I'm taking quite some time predicting this now. So yeah, kind of crazy. That's about it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this? Let me know your thoughts about this prediction. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.